Hi, I'm Diane Devani, broker owner of Pacific Ridge Real Estate.
And I'm John Cohen, president of Qualified Financial, your local mortgage broker.
And this is the Weekly Five.
Hello, Diane.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good. We've been so busy. It's been a few weeks since we did a recording.
It
So
has.
I think you re-released one of our older podcasts last week, I believe it was.
Yes, but it
Um,
was still applicable information. So
yeah, we've got a lot of stuff that's still very relevant, but it's good to catch a little bit of a break in between and be able to do this with you. So.
I agree.
Yeah. So what's going on with you?
Just busy, as you know, and I was gonna to ask you the same question. Business is picking up, and you can tell us more, but interest rates are better, so
Yeah.
a
So
lot of
yeah,
activity out there.
good. I'll take it from here. So it is night and day from 3 months ago, even or 6 months ago. It's right now the rate, just so anybody out there wondering what's going on with interest rates, they drop below on conventional loans. In some cases are now below 6%. If you remember, they were like 7.99 a couple of years ago, and they've slowly creeped down. And I know it's not from the president and them lowering the interest rates or the Fed's lowering the rates have nothing to do with it, by the way. But over time, the bond market has improved and rates have gotten better, and everybody I know is getting off the fence. So that's on conventional loans, people that are usually putting anywhere from 10 to 20% down. Then
Mhm.
on FHA or VA government loans, which a lot of people are taking advantage of these programs because they only require either VA 0% down, FHA is 3.5% down, which is
Right,
very little bit to get into a home. Those rates are like 5.5 or below.
right,
It's wild. So
great.
we're back to where we were years ago. And because of that, everybody's literally getting off the fence. People that were thinking about selling or were locked into, I can't afford the payment because it's too high. If I were to buy, I'm going to stay renting. Now it's completely making sense to take advantage of it. Things will get difficult is for those who are considering buying that are thinking I'm going to wait for the rates to come low and we get even lower. There's a lot of people still out there doing that. So what happens, even though the rates have dropped considerably and the payments, I mean, in some cases, $1,000 lower per month
Right.
than it was a year and a half ago. So if you wait, like everybody else out there is trying to wait, and the rates do come down, now you're talking about bidding wars again.
Yep.
And when you have that, you're going to be paying that much more for a house. You might as well get off the fence, find a home that you love, a payment that you can afford now. Know that the rates are going to come down, and you're definitely going to be able to refinance into the lower rate and the lower payment without having to overpay for the house now. So it's a really good idea to do. So a lot of the clients that I've been following up with for, I don't know, the last year and a half, 2 years now, are now off the fence. We're actually in contract on a lot of purchases right now, and a lot of people that have purchased years ago that were waiting to either refinance or needed to pull some cash out of their property and
Hmm.
had a lower rate and weren't willing to do it are now doing it. It's now starting to make sense. So
Yeah.
if you're out there and you just want to know what the payment would look like if you were to buy, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. If you want to know, what the market looks like, obviously reach out to Diane. Or, if you have another lender or another agent, it's a good time to get off the fence and start looking. So that's kind of, what I wanted to explore today. Do you have any other questions, Diane?
No, I agree 100%. In fact, I was going to say I'm working with a buyer now, and it definitely is changing. There's been a couple of properties that we found, and by the time we get there, write it up, it's gone. So we're seeing that again. It's really true. And it's so wonderful to get the home of your dreams um, now, really
Yeah.
is.
And if you're working with somebody who knows what they're doing, like me, like Diane, we know how to strategize. If you're out there and you're like wondering, I don't think I have enough for the down payment or enough for the closing costs, there are loan options and ways for us to strategize To give you an example, if you're looking at a brand new listing, and you're trying to put an offer on the new listing and you're trying to come below the listing price or putting an offer below the listing price or asking for that seller for some credits for to help you with the closing costs, the chance of getting that is zero. So in your case, we're probably going to look at a property that's been sitting there for 120 days on the market. Somebody where the seller and the listing agents, they're desperate to sell their property. They're more motivated, and those might be the best those are probably the best properties to look at if you're struggling with coming up with a down payment or struggling coming up with the with the closing costs. But these are things we can talk about
I
whether
agree.
whether you're interested now or in the future, you just want to get an idea what it's going to look like, what would a payment even look like, what does the process look like, whether you're, like I said, thinking about it now or maybe just a subtle seed in the back of your head, wondering what it would look like. And, I would love to stop renting one day and buy a home. Call me, reach out, send me a DM. And I'd be happy to go through it with you. So,
Same.
yeah. So if that's it for today, if you guys, again, if you have any questions, reach out to us. If not, over and out until next time. Thanks for
Thank
tuning
you.
in. Okay. Take care.
Take care.